Is Amazing Yamaguchi stealing Mess Toys' homework? Which came first, the black suit chicken, or the black suit egg? Well, we are getting our Amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech Symbiote Spider-Man, with a very veiny and oozy looking body, like a living creature compared to Mess Toys' matte finish version. It does make us wonder if Revoltech saw what Mess Toys was doing and wanted some of that sweet symbiote action. Welcome back to Flicks and Figs episode 82, and we will be discussing this and plenty more. So I'm Libby and I'll be discussing the latest 6-inch action figure news in this episode. Mark will be back soon enough once he's paid the bills to get his AI voice up and running again. So this does look like a very nice offering from Amazing Yamaguchi. I suppose Revoltech had to something to distinguish themselves from Mess Toys. And it's sort of a creepy symbiote body, but with a very smooth head. So Revoltech obviously don't want to be confused with Mess Toys here, who are inspired, shall we say, by the Revoltech body type. And this figure does have some sweet action poses, and who doesn't like smooth head at the end of the day? So you could have this guy as your Dark Avengers Spider-Man, whilst the Mess Toys one could be your Peter Parker black suit Spider-Man if you like. Revoltech does have some nice detail. Perhaps the Revoltech one is a bit different and maybe could sit amongst Gameverse figures on your collection, as those costume designs are a bit more stylized.
So if you want a more beefy and bulkier black suit Spider-Man, here you go. Ryan here. This is more of a symbiote import quality 6-inch action figure. The icing on the cake here would be a symbiote head and tentacles and tendrils which could attach to his neck like some of the Marvel Legends versions. The posing is really great in some of these pictures, as are the accessories.
Thanks Ryan, and I personally like this crouching pose, where you can see all the tendrils coming off his back like he's getting ready to pounce, or strike, or unnervingly watching his prey. But what do you think? Will you be picking Amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech Black Suit Spider-Man up? Let us know in the comments below. And feel free to smash the like button, comment with your thoughts on Revoltech Black Suit Spider-Man, or the Mess Toys one. Let's mass debate in the comments down below, and feel free to become a channel member for even more exclusive content. And from Black Suit Spider-Man, we go to another street-level hero ally of the Turtles, Casey Jones, in his comic duds from Mesco 112. And just look at that US flag hockey mask. And it's a regular release, so he should still be available in places like the whole shebang and props and replicas. And this is Mirage Comics Casey Jones, and this makes me want a Mesco 112 toy version of Casey Jones. Yes, that is Super 7 Ultimates territory, but imagine some toy-inspired turtles from Mesco 112. And of course cloth goods is where Mesco 112 shines, and the red top and tracksuit bottoms, or sweats in grey, just look really at home on Casey Jones, and just work even if they come off as a little plain. And of course Batman has teamed up with the Turtles in the comics, and let's go from comic Turtles in action figure form to Mafex, Batfleck Batman making up the Flicks part of Flicks and Figs. And this is Ben Affleck Batman from The Flash. And hey listen, someone out there must want these DC movie representations on their shelves, and more power to them, but I can't help but feel they seem somewhat redundant as the DC cinematic universe has moved on since then. Well, maybe you like your Batman a little less flashy, and if so maybe Batman 66 is more your thing. McFarlane Toys will be giving us their Batman 66 Batmobile in DC Multiverse scale. And so far we only have one DC Multiverse Batman 66 figure compared to a whole line of Batman 66 figures in 6-inch scale from Todd McFarlane.
Can McFarlane keep pumping out Batmobiles before the DC license changes hands? Will you even have room for them? Stay tuned. Same McFarlane time, same McFarlane channel. Keep your bat fingers crossed for more vehicles from McFarlane. Same tack time, same tack channel.
Thanks Eric for the Batman 66 narrator impression there, and I do think this Batman 66 Batmobile looks quite fun. Even if you don't have Batman 66, you could put another Batman in there for some fun. Action figures don't always have to be serious, they can be wacky and silly and fun. And then from fun and campy to the darker elements of superheroes, here we have the boys Queen Maeve from Mafex, and she comes with 2 head options, extra hands, a sword and a chocolate, or candy bar accessory. It doesn't matter what we do, nothing changes, nothing ever changes or gets better. Well, that's a bit pessimistic, Queen Maeve. At least you can enjoy some quality action figures to help lift your spirits. And if you're enjoying this episode of Flicks and Figs, feel free to smash that like button, comment and subscribe, and feel free to become a channel member for even more content. Have you been collecting Mafex the boys? If so, have you got any favorite figures in your collection? Carl Urban was at MCM Comic Con London October 2025, and Carl Urban plays Billy Butcher, and Mark has a MCM October video on the channel, link in the comments below. And whilst MCM Comic Con was going on, so was Titan's Toy Expo, and the Brutal Realm team was there, and here is the Shaddar in action. 3 faceplates, sword and dagger, and Gaulish shield. And these Brutal Realm figures have very much Masters of the Universe vibes. As you can see here, these Brutal Realm guys could be at home on a diorama fashioned like Eternia, or even a Mythic Land all of their own. So these are just big buff and very visually appealing. They will really pop in a diorama. I think the Native American might actually be my favorite. So let me know what you think of Brutal Realm, and if you will be picking these up. Big Bad Toy Store will probably have these in stock. Not sure about any UK retailers yet, but there you go, Brutal Realm. So the red-head barbarian type, with blue tattoos, is known as Killian the Red, I know that much. And Brutal Realm show up at shows like Jolanta, Toylanta, all those great shows, as well as Titan Toy Expo, which was occurring the same time as MCM London here in the UK. Shout out to Adam Batman Moran, he absolutely loves these. Hopefully we can get a UK retailer to stock them at some point. And speaking of Adam Batman Moran, we saw Flash Batfleck Batman earlier, and maybe you're not satiated with that, no. Maybe you want an anime-style Poison Ivy. Well, there's some food for thought. Maybe plant food for thought. Here is Yu Yu Haku Kurama, from the series Yu Yu Haku, about an underworld detective, investigating paranormal events, and fighting demons. So like I mentioned, this character here, Kurama, does give me the idea for an anime Poison Ivy in an anime-style Batman line. We did have that Samurai Batman a few years ago. I can't even remember which company made that, maybe Good Smile Company. Anyway, if you remember that Samurai Batman, or watch Yu Yu Haku, let me know in the comments below. A rose by any other name, and let's go for something completely different. Here we have a look at Cosmic Legion's toy photography from Toy Immersion, and you can check out Toy Immersion on Instagram, and more shoutouts to come for excellent toy photography in the form of What's Up Danger, Mini Plastic Multiverse, Mikey Moon Boots, and Dan Hujay's Toy Collection UK, and plenty more YouTubers and independent UK retailers including Emporium of Cool, who posted these Cosmic Legions pics. And some of the action figures we have seen so far have been pretty Mega Man. That Amazing Yamaguchi black suit Spiderman looks really good. And speaking of Mega Man, here's the Hiya Toys Exquisite Mega Man X, which is currently up for pre-order. And sticking with video games, Hiya Toys have done Mega Man X here. I'm sure Jada Toys might give us a Mega Man X at some point. And Jada Toys' main rival Storm Arena are showing off the King of Fighters 98 Ultimate Match Kyo Kusanagi, and if you haven't ever picked up a Storm Arena figure, do it, you are in for a real treat. Import SH Figuarts style quality for Marvel Legends prices. And speaking of imports, Meaty Toys will be giving us some epic 1/12 scale turtles soon. And here's Tom Mini Plastic Multiverse, with the Hiya Toys 3.75-inch versions. And What's Up Danger follows him up with Mesco 1/12 Cap and Doom, and Doomsday is on the horizon next year. And that leads into some shoutouts. And here we have Mesco 1/12 Doom, as mentioned before. He's going to be an important part of the MCU, and if you like Marvel Legends, either comic or MCU based, check out Dan Who Reviews, and Dan Who has some Marvel Legends Sentinels incoming. Song detected. 21 Sentinels to go.
We got 21 Sentinels to go. Hunting mutants, you already know. Skyline Dark when we drop below. Target acquired. Lock and blow. 21 Sentinels. Seek and show. One by one, we strike the blow. X to the men. Nah, we the foe. This is the rise. 21 to go.
So I hope you enjoyed that Sentinel rap inspired by So Solid Crew. 21 seconds to go. Ryan giving us bars. And Dan, Mark and Tom do a show called Joe's and Juice focusing on G.I. Joe Classified. And Mark and myself have a video on all the latest reveals from MCM London for G.I. Joe Classified and Marvel Legends, and I'll drop a link to that video in the comments below. And Carl's Cave has been working closely with Hasbro. Here's a pic of Big Lob in action. Head on over to Instagram and give Carl's Cave a follow. Again, link in the comments below. Check out Miguel and the Wolfpack toy review. Kapow Toys and In Demand, who are both at MCM London, Props and Replicas, and Props and Replicas often get in Boss Fight Studio figures. So let's look at their Hellboy next. So this is Hellboy from Boss Fight Studio, and as far as I'm aware there will be accessory packs to complete the look of the figure, presumably these different head and hand options. So yeah, Boss Fight Studio giving us some really nice 1/12 figures. First, Red Sonja, now a very comic art inspired Hellboy. And keeping it with a horror theme, perhaps you'd like to see your boss fight Studio Hellboy fight your 52 Toys alien. And if so, here is the 52 Toys alien, if you're happy to mix lines. And from 52 Toys alien we go to a NECA tease, presumably from Predator 2, although I thought it could also be gargoyles. But yeah, I guess we might have a rooftop diorama coming from NECA from the Predator 2 movie, and of course one place the Predator would have the hunting time of its life would be the Age of Apocalypse, and you'll see why I mention that shortly. And from 52 Toys Nightmare Future of Alien to Mafex Nightmare Post-Apocalyptic, well, Age of Apocalypse with Weapon X and Cyclops, and credit to photos by Isaac Wong, these look absolutely great. I've heard mixed things about Weapon X unfortunately, however, but these figures certainly do look the business, especially compared to their Marvel Legends counterparts. And we saw Mesco 112 Captain America in action by What's Up Danger earlier, and here he is again. And if you like Marvel, feel free to check out these Marvel Legends, which were revealed at MCM London, and as I mentioned before, Mark and myself have a video on the channel, and I'll leave a link in the comments below. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Flicks and Figs, episode 82. It's a bit quieter than usual as there have been a few cons back to back, including MCM Comic Con, and we close with Valaverse, and a tease of their Blackbid figures coming in 2026. And until next time, enjoy those flicks and figs.